Nice. All right. It looks like we are cooking. We're cooking with bullets.
All right, cook away,
Good.
chef.
Well, it's with heavy hearts. We need to make a pretty long coming but sad announcement. After 8 long years, the 3-Bit Gamer Show podcast is finally coming to an end. That's right. This will be our last episode. And honestly, we will miss all of you.
I'm sorry. Did you say long coming?
I'm gonna come.
Yes, I did. And I'm going to say it again.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Do it again. You're not
I was
going
like-
to be able to say long
I was
coming
like, oh,
again,
he's
though.
he's riffing. Oh, wait, no.
No.
All right. Well, it's with heavy hearts. We need to make a pretty long coming. Okay, nope, we got this. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, we got it. Shake it off. Shake it off.
Well, it's with heavy hearts. We need to make a pretty long and hard coming but sad announcement. After 8 long years, the 3-Bit Gamer Show podcast is finally coming to an end. This will be our last episode, and honestly, we're going to miss all of you.
Oh, dude, finally. Seriously, it's finally come.
Dude, what the heck? This is an April Fool's joke.
Oh, yeah, no. I knew that.
No, you sounded pretty relieved there, Jonathan.
No, I'm just saying, like, haha, like, finally. Like, I was in on the joke.
Oh, really? Okay, because I didn't even tell you about the joke beforehand.
No. But, like, you know.
Nope. So wait, should we just wrap it up?
Honestly, maybe.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah, talk to you again, never.
Peace.
You just logged off the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
And this is Peterson.
And you're not getting off that easy. After
April
400
Fools.
episodes.
Yeah, you think we're just
Wish.
gonna? No, we are going to drag it out.
I'm out.
In.
You're gonna drag it out.
Imagine
drag it in.
dragging these.
We're gonna
nuts.
drag it in like a dog
Drag-
drags in like a dead animal into your house.
like not even a little dead animal too. Like we're talking like a goat, like
They
a
found it,
big
like,
goat.
Yeah, buried under like a pile of leaves from last winter. That's this
Drag it
podcast.
on in. That's
A
what
dead
we're doing.
goat under a pile of leaves. Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. The news is brought to us by Crave Cookies. Crave Cookies. Go to cravecookies.com. Check it out. Cookie shop with like 40 locations around the country. I think it's going to be
That's crazy.
like 80 by the end of the year.
That's crazy. And you're gonna open all of them.
I'm going to open none
You're
of
gonna
them.
be there for the next.
I'm going to
40.
have to get new blood pressure medicine. That's what I'm going to need to do. And then I can go open all of them.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
It's
Just eat a
fine.
couple cookies. You'll be fine.
Just chase it with
Doesn't
some
that
cookies.
help with blood pressure?
I think it lowers stress, yes. Crave Cookies has a rotating weekly menu. Every week, a new batch of 4 to 5 new cookies comes out. And that comes out on Friday. Podcast comes out on Tuesday. We spoil it for you. So if you don't like spoilers, if you like being surprised when you walk into restaurants with what they have available for sale, well, then hit the skip button 2-3 times.
But we know why you listen. This is what
You
guys
listen
are
because you
waiting
want the
for.
menu. You want the sneak peek of the week. So coming up next week at Crave Cookies, we've got the peanut butter cup, our new monthly replacing the carrot cake. So everyone got really healthy eating the carrot cake. Their eye sight started to sharpen up a little bit. They got a little
Now-
more regular. So
now you're getting more protein by the
exactly.
peanut
You
butter cup.
see that the peanut butter cup. We are on a health kick here at Crave Cookies. Also, the chocolate pistaffi, the Twix. which
Always
is
good.
top 3 for me.
Always good. Yeah.
The s'moreo and the coconut cream pie.
Oh, that one's always solid too. That one's always solid.
Oreo and the coconut cream pie. Yeah, that's a pretty solid menu.
Good menu. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
mix.
So go on the app, get the Crave Cookies app. I do think it's cheaper. You can do DoorDash, but you're missing out on your cookie.
You're paying a real
coins.
premium.
You're paying a premium. There's no point. Use the app, get your cookie coins, get your cookie on. Game Informer is back, baby. And the whole gang is coming.
Dude, this is crazy. Like,
This is pretty fucking
Christian
wild.
Spicer pulled some strings, I think, and he got what he
Yeah.
wanted.
Did not see this coming. Guys,
Not at
last
all.
year, GameStop, in an endless effort to cut costs at their dying company, cut out Game Informer. They just like fired all the staff and all the people working there.
In the worst way possible. They're just like,
Uh-huh.
you're out of here. And then people were like, okay,
Deleted the
let's just,
website,
like,
deleted
it's
the
like
Twitter.
Gone. Everything gone.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
awful. Just for what really was kind of an institution in games media. And when I say kinda, I mean was.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
no kinda. And so it was kind of traumatizing to see something like that just get dissolved overnight. Well, the good news comes from Game Informer editor-in-chief Matt Miller. In a letter to the editor, he said they're planning to bring back not only the editorial team, but production and beyond. So everybody just gets their
Bring
job
it all back.
This was a full sale of Game Informer and all of its assets from GameStop to Gunzilla Games, which you guys may know, probably not, though. Neil Blomkamp, the director of District 9 and Chappie, that robot Talking Robots movies, he directed those movies, and then he founded and he's co-founder and chief creative officer of Gunzilla Games.
Okay.
I will give you the caveat that Gunzilla Games is a NFT/blockchain company.
Oh, perfect.
Their latest game isn't even allowed on Steam. Described as a layer 1 blockchain ecosystem powering community-driven economies.
So this story started off super positive.
Right.
Took a little bit of a turn.
But it's okay. We're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
Because somehow, I don't know how they got their Twitter back. All their old tweets are gone, but they got their Twitter back with all their 2.5 million followers. The print magazine is also returning at some later date, which the editor-in-chief Matt Miller said was coming soon, hopefully. They want it to be bigger and better than it was before, and the team also chose not to leave a gap in their coverage, so they have dozens of new reviews from games that were released during this hiatus.
Oh,
also,
wow.
they have the Best of 2024 awards just ready to go. I guess these guys were just like working in the dark.
They had like a Zoom. They had like a Zoom.
They didn't even have anywhere to publish this. They were just doing their job still without publishing, hoping that they got funding.
Yeah.
The big priority, it seems, from what Matt Miller said, is to drive the value of their subscription model. So you subscribe to Game Informer, you get a ton of shit. I will say, pretty interested in this personally. If this is going to make Game Informer a magazine that comes in the mail, and I don't have to have like a weird GameStop membership that I'm never going to use, and it's going to be fatter, and there's going to be a lot more like content. This may be the first and only time I wouldn't say only, but because I've had magazine subscriptions in the past, but this sounds like a little bit more than that.
Part of me was like, dude, you got to get this first episode, this first
issue
magazine, the first issue.
First issue. Because
like, I don't know, maybe that's like a collector's item right there already. So
yeah,
get in on the ground level. Again.
Yeah, so you can sign up. They don't have that. You can't like sign up for a subscription yet, but you can sign up for their account on GameInformer.com, and they'll just like email you stuff, updates and whatnot. So pretty cool.
Good.
Game Informer's back, and the whole thing. Like I'm honestly, I feel like whistling by the graveyard on the blockchain shit. Because they did mention that they insisted on complete editorial autonomy, which if anyone's going to give it to you, it's the company that just has a bunch of scam cash that's looking to legitimize themselves. They're like, yeah, whatever. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Like, we don't know anything about that, honestly. Just like, come in, do your thing.
Yeah, I don't know why they bought them. There wasn't really a clear explanation on that, but to buy a company,
They probably got them
that
at a good
has
price, to be honest.
no revenue, 0 revenue right now. And you have at least, I gotta say at least, but it's probably much more, at least 10, 15 employees, full-time salaried employees, right?
Gotta be.
At least, I'd say upwards of 30. That is not a cheap venture. That's like a 8-figure investment, right?
It's
8, 9?
the caveat's got to be like, you have to give just crazy good reviews to our NFT game. Like,
Yeah,
drive
that we
people to
can't
the
even
NFT
sell on
game.
Steam. So you guys are gonna have to buff this up.
We're gonna
talking
sell it
full
on
page ads.
GameInformer.com. That's
Oh,
where
what
it
a
goes
mess,
now.
dude! I'm serious. I'll get that issue. I will get that issue. I will get a fucking game magazine in the mail again. Like, let's bring it back. I'm here for that.
Get
I'm
some
down.
reviews of some 2024 games, whatever. Yeah.
I'm super here for that. A presentation from Valve at this year's GDC revealed that the most common language on Steam is simplified Chinese. I know this is just a tiny little, it was basically one slide from one presentation from Valve. And it sounds like it should be a riblets. And you're probably right. But I did think that there was a little bit of room for discussion in this, what was revealed in this slide, which is that 66% of users on Steam use a language other than English. Half of that is simplified Chinese at 33.7%.
That's great.
English is at 33.5%. So it's a very close second.
It's like right there. Yeah.
Right there. They're basically the same.
Let's get them.
Next up is
Let's get 'em
Russian,
English speakers.
8%. And then Castilian Spanish.
That's, I was like, what?
That's like Quebecy French is like the most fucking like
I was
is like
it's
above
got to be
French.
Spanish and Castilian, right? Because like, it can't be Spain Spanish only. That's bananas.
Yeah,
Well,
so
it also is a little bit confusing because the next line is Brazilian.
Brazilian at 2.8%.
Oh, really? Oh, really? What language is Brazilian?
Yeah, it's like Mexican.
It's like saying Mexican.
Yeah,
the language they're speaking is Mexican, and you're like, oh boy, are they using a
Oh.
lot of slang? Like, I understand if that's the context, but
Yeah, so the thing about the prevalence of Chinese on Steam as a preferred language stems from the fact that Steam has been a gray market in China through the last couple years with all of their back and forth rubber banding on video game policy and restrictions in the video game industry. Steam has just kind of been just like low key, just like lurking around and available for people that aren't supposed to be using it, but are not blocked from using it. And then ultimately, I think what jumped into my mind when I saw this stat, when I read this story and just kind of like thought about the data was that, and tell me if this sounds crazy, but I think we could be coming up on a Chinese indie game boom.
that would be interesting.
We have
See what
all of,
they
there are
pumped out.
already a number of Chinese indie games on Steam. They don't translate well, so you don't really get a lot of,
They don't get a lot of
for 'em.
buzz. Yeah,
But tell you what, dude, if a Chinese person makes Balatro, the language doesn't really matter that much.
that's true.
I mean, it's just a matter of translating the cards to understand what they do. But like, that's what I'm talking about in terms of Chinese indie games. And I think you've got these people who went through all of the pandemic with the ups and downs of what China was allowing them to play on their phones. And they're like, we don't give a fuck. We're on Steam. And we've been playing all these crazy games on Steam and having a great time. Well, they've come up during that. How many of those people turn into indie devs? You only need a handful to get a lot of really cool fucking
to get
Chinese.
yeah.
Right as they're easing quite a bit on what they're allowing to be published in the US. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a boom of Chinese indie games on Steam. I just think I don't know, could be interesting.
It is interesting in the comments below. That's like a lot of the people are saying, like, "Oh, I'm German, but I just do it in English." And like Dutch people are like, "Yeah, most of us speak English. So we just leave it in English as our default." So like, even people who I would say
do
English
use
is their
English.
second language, they're
Yeah.
like using English.
Which is crazy.
I mean, I get it. Like, it's we probably don't come across this enough because we're not bilingual, but like, probably native language is the best way to go, like in terms of searching and all that stuff. So
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah, but China still has us eked out. So let's get in there, guys, and start using. I don't know. Let's beat
Start
them.
speaking American.
It's a competition. We're Americans. Everything's a competition.
Japan's AAA game industry is doing a lot better than everyone else's. Just sneaking by. No one's noticing. They're just cruising along. This came from industry analyst Dr. Serkin Toto, who is wrote this on Kantan Games. I don't know. Basically, the share of a majority of publicly traded AAA game companies in Japan were at all-time highs during the last 2 months. This is Sony, Konami, Nintendo, Bandai Namco, and Capcom. Man, those are some old fucking names.
Yeah, some
These
of those
guys
are
have
Konami,
not all have been having the
Capcom.
best years over the last 5+ years, but as Western AAA game studios are just a absolute dumpster fire shit show quagmire from hell. In Japan, they're just pumping out hits, making bucks doing it. They're just fucking cruising. All-time high share prices on all 5 of those.
That's crazy.
During that same period. Yeah, I think they've got, I mean, and that's not to say like they're totally exempt from layoffs or other issues in their industry, but I don't think they're doing the trend chasing that we're seeing in Western game studios, where it's like everyone's laying people off. Why are we not doing that? And it's like, are we thinking about this, or are we just laying people off? They're like, we're just laying people off. In Japan, I don't think that's hit. Also, there are quite a bit of workers' rights in Japan.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We talked about this a while ago, sometime last year, but like laying off people in Japan is a much more serious venture than it is here. Like you're paying like tons of severance. It's not like one week for every year you work there. It's like a lot of severance. And so workers' rights. So they don't just lay off willy-nilly like
idiots.
US,
why not?
Like idiots.
It's just free. You just do it and your stock price goes up. It's like magic.
Just bam,
more desk space.
We don't care about those guys. I didn't even know names. So yeah, no, this is kind of crazy though. Like just that these guys are at like a record stock price.
Yeah.
Oh my
all 5 of those. Again, Sony, Nintendo, Konami, Capcom, and Bandai Namco.
Look, American companies or French companies, all you Canadian companies, all you guys quit trying to figure it out. Just Japan already figured it out. Go study what they're doing. Send a guy over there and be like, what are you guys doing? How can we do this too? That's what they need to do.
Warner Brothers Discovery apparently canceled a planned Hogwarts Legacy game expansion.
Warner Brothers is pretty good at making money.
I think they're pretty smart. This was a part of an ongoing restructuring in their video game unit. The expansion apparently, this is, by the way, from Schreier, who spoke to people off the record about this.
Oh, his are always off the record. Like he drops his name and everyone's just like, yeah, I guess I'll tell him everything.
Okay. No, I trust you. That's fine. Whatever here. The update or the expansion, whatever, was going to include new storyline things, but they apparently said that there wasn't enough content to justify the cost. Which actually, when I read that, I was like, wait, am I on Warner Brothers Discovery's side? Because if we're being honest, and they come out with an expansion that is like really thin and it's $20, that's not a great look for Hogwarts Legacy.
People would turn
exactly
quickly.
They have a perfect flawless record with this game, and all it
Yeah.
takes is a $20 horse armor style expansion pack.
And let's be honest, it would not be $20. It would be a $40
30 or 40, yeah.
expansion, and it would be 8 hours worth of gameplay, and people would not be happy.
So here is the part where I come back around and I'm no longer on Warner Brothers Discovery's side, is when I remembered what David Zaslav, CEO of Warner Brothers,
exactly
said
what you're gonna
back
say.
in November, which was, quote, "We are focusing our development efforts on those core franchises with proven studios to improve our success ratio." So, bro, after you are closing down game studios, everything except your core franchises, how does this make sense that one thing your core franchise is going to put out there that can make money you have canceled? That doesn't sound like support. If I were saying I was supporting something like that, I'd either pour money into it to make it bigger, or I'd take the loss and release it for fucking free as part of the new remaster that they're releasing this year, or a $5 expansion, or a pre-order bonus. Like, what a cool thing. Even if there's like just 2 or 3 more story missions, you give those out for free. You look at it as we kept our developers fresh. They probably learned some new things that they can apply to the next Hogwarts Legacy game. But the idea of just canceling it all outright because it might have been too expensive. Guys, is that price? You set that price. What do you think is going to be too expensive?
They were like,
lower the fucking price.
Well, I think it was going to be too expensive for the company for what they're putting out. That's what I was reading it as, but maybe you're. Maybe
yeah. When I read that it wasn't enough content to justify the cost, maybe that's what it is. Justify the cost of developing it.
Development, and but then
that's
I'm like,
hard to believe because Hogwarts Legacy packed so much in,
and I'm like, you've got a gigantic world. You don't need to add a new area or anything like that. You can just use one of your very empty areas, and add like an extra storyline, a nighttime storyline where everyone's gone. You know what I mean? Like
you guys had a million side quests and side missions that you could build off of. So it's really hard for me to buy that they.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing. That's. But
they did say. Do you remember early on though? Right when the game came out, they were like, "Listen, this is the game. We're not doing any expansions for the game."
Yeah.
They said that, and then immediate, a month later, they're like working on expansion.
Actually, $1 million later, our opinions have changed somewhat. No, yeah. I think that this one feels like just the beginning of a story, tip of an iceberg type of thing. Because look, we know now that Schreier has tentacles inside of Avalanche Studios.
Yeah.
So that never really ends well for the studios unless they're all doing great work. And something tells me any studio that's under Zaslav right now is probably not doing their best work.
No, they are. Dude, honestly, genuinely, you work at Warner Brothers. You worked on Hogwarts Legacy, and you see all the stuff that's happening. How confident are you in your ability?
No, I'm gone.
Dude,
I'm fucking gone.
No, I have brushed up my resume 6 months ago. I am ready because
I have Hogwarts Legacy on my resume right now.
Yeah,
it is like gold. But if I stick around to see what Zaslav's going to turn Hogwarts Legacy 2 Overwatch into, and it's going to have like a multiplayer shooting component that's like a Fortnite ripoff, I don't want to play Hogwarts Legacy for Fortnite.
Hogwarts Legacy Fortnite. You just drop you in, you're zipping around on your brooms shooting each other with killing curses, because at that time I guess you could just do the killing curse whenever you wanted. There's no consequences.
Yeah, they're instead of the battle bus, it's the Hogwarts Express train. And instead of parachuting you down, you get on your brooms and go up.
You can port key if you want to. You can port key to an area.
But don't worry, kids, you can still dab.
And buy all the skins. I'm sorry to inform you. Welcome to another company reset. Hope you've updated your resume. 'Cause you've just been laid off.
Layoffs are always fun. We love
So fun.
layoffs.
So fun.
Why else would we write a fun song about them?
Yeah, I
Ubisoft
had to
employees,
process a couple today, so whatever.
dude, what a
Took the
blast.
wait. Yeah.
I love ruining people's lives so that we can juice the stock price. Ubisoft employees are worried about layoffs after the Tencent deal. We didn't even bother mentioning this in the news, but Tencent. Okay, so briefly, who gives a shit about what the Guillemot brothers are doing to juice their own stock price? But they're basically spinning off another company within Ubisoft
Yeah.
to just do like their 3 main games. And that subsidiary, they are selling a big chunk of to Tencent because Tencent wants like a clean investment on this one. They don't want to buy up all
They
the
don't want everything.
chaff. They don't want Ubisoft Singapore. Let's just say that.
They were like,
we,
if Singapore's on the table,
we want
we're
a
out.
0% shit.
Figure out a way that we can get in on Ubisoft and get no Singapore.
Yeah, so it's just like maneuvering to make Tencent happy. However, it has also led to extraordinary anxiety within Ubisoft for anyone that's not working on those 3 games. That is, of course, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, the tried and true Ubisoft triumvirate. That's it, though. And so every other employee that's working on other things is like, oh, we're coming up on cuts.
We're
aren't
screwed.
we?
They're like, I'm out. Like I'm gonna get kicked out any day now.
Yeah, so that's basically the story. There were a lot of quotes from people that expressing how anxious they are about this deal. You were right to be anxious. So I guess polish up your resume, start applying and interviewing for a company that's going to do this exact goddamn thing to you a year from now.
Dude.
Cyan Worlds, the team behind Myst and Riven, is laying off half of its team. This is a dozen workers, which is a lot. So they had a team of like 25. They're laying off 12, and they are still in the process of desperately seeking funding to help them stay afloat. Did you? I'm trying to remember what Riven was. I know Myst, you guys, I'm sure are remember was. I mean, it was Myst. Oh, Riven was the sequel to Myst.
Yeah, that was the sequel.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of a fun little tidbit. We one of the guys I play video games with, he downloaded Myst the other night, and we all played it together. He just streamed it, and we were like helping him solve the puzzles.
Oh, fun.
And yeah, it was fun until I could tell. I was like, wait a second, Steven was using a walkthrough to solve some of the puzzles. I was like, what's the point? I was like, I'm done. I'm out. We only did it for one night. It was over, but it was kind of fun to revisit Myst.
Dude, there was a Myst 5 End of Ages. That's
really
crazy. So many Myst games.
Yeah, there are.
Well, it seems like that may have been a bit niche. And yeah, they had to lay off half their team. I mean, they've been doing funky stuff. They've been doing Kickstarter campaigns and things. So I don't know if this was ever a really like stable studio or stable place to work, but it always is kind of a bummer to see an indie studio of this size. 25 is not insignificant. That's just 12 jobs just gone, and that sucks.
Yep.
You know what else sucks? Riblets. That's how you have to eat them. You're not chewing. You're not gnawing. You're sucking them.
No, the meat you just suck right off the bone.
Yeah, put the whole riblet in your mouth. Hold firm because you don't want to choke. And then you just suck. You suck that meat down your throat holes. Best Buy Canada might have leaked the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders date. Dude, I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Because wasn't it like 4 or 5 years ago, Best Buy Canada was leaking something else?
They leaked no, it was.
I went back to
they
our
were
show
like
notes. I searched Best Buy. I searched Canada. Nothing. I don't know when the fuck this happened.
This would have been
way long ago.
Beginning of before we had like a single dock that we were using. This was like individual sheets. Individual sheets.
Okay, well then I'm glad I'm not crazy because I almost wrote the Best Buy Canada is at it again because they apparently leaked the release date or the pre-order date for the Switch 2 as April 2nd, which is I guess the day after you're listening to this.
Wait, is this an April Fool's joke?
We'll see. We'll see. But the
It's
blog
weird
post
if it
is
is.
now deleted, which tells me that it was an oopsie. Like Best Buy Canada is always doing oopsies. I like to think they just have one guy on the marketing and editorial team that is just a big planner. He's not fucking up. He's planning ahead. He's got these pages totally built out, ready to publish, and he accidentally publishes them, and they can't get mad at you for being a great planner and being so good at your job. You're ready to go weeks in advance.
They're like, nope, no, that one was supposed to be a secret. And he's like, I can't keep track of what's supposed to be a secret and not. Just like,
he's like, all I
give
do,
me it or don't.
Yeah, all I do is publish shit. That's what I do.
I'm not paying attention to like what these are and stuff. Just
amazing.
Like, he probably doesn't even play video games. He probably doesn't even play video games. He doesn't care or know. He's just like a guy who's just on top of it and sometimes leaks some stuff.
Yeah, dude, this guy, he's publishing things about buying washing machines.
Yeah,
and he's like, what? How am I supposed to know?
What the freak is a Switch 2?
What is a Nintendo Switch? There's two of them? I don't understand. League of Legends fighting game 2XKO will have just 10 playable characters at launch. It's confirmed by Riot. They could have had more, but apparently they wanted to just get it out ASAP. Smart. And I thought it was kind of interesting in the
best thing about fighting games is having very few options.
That's no one wants fighters when it's based on a game that has 170 characters.
They better release one new character every other day. That's the only way.
That's the other thing is that the way that they release their champs in League of Legends is they're so like gentle because they don't want to mess with like the meta or the balance of it. So it slows down the release schedule for these champs, and I think it's I don't know, but people love this game so far. The people that are playing it. So I think they just want to get it out there, get it in front of people, and just be like, here, just see what you do with it. That's what they mentioned.
Free to play?
It's gotta be. And they did mention they're like, oh, it's a live service game, so that's what we're doing. And I thought maybe I'm just living in my own little bubble here. But in my mind, live service has become kind of a name you don't want to be attached to your game.
Yeah, you don't say that. I mean, they like
if I said it.
If I worked at a video
come out
game
with
company, I would think of a different phrase.
Yeah, different phrase. Yeah. A live service. He's like, yeah, so it's coming out now just because it's a live service game, so we'll update it later. But it's like that undertone is like, we'll charge you for you'll pay for it.
We're gonna
you won't pay
you for money so much. Yeah. You think we're giving you free stuff? Get out of here.
No,
we're releasing champions.
Service.
And you're going to pay for each of them.
Service ain't free. We're not Jesus. All right. So confirmed so far of those champs: Ari, Echo, Yasuo, Darius, Ileo. I don't know. It's just a bunch of fucking vowels. Braum and Jinx.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, I think Braum would be a fun in a fighting game. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it could be.
Big shield. Nobody wants to take responsibility for Ark's bizarre AI trailer. Fucking hilarious. We reported on this trailer.
I didn't do it.
That wasn't me. That weren't me.
I don't know who did that.
Where they had Ark survival, whatever. Survival.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Whatever. Yeah.
That game, they were releasing like an underwater version and expansion or whatever the fuck it is. And they released this trailer that was basically entirely AI, and it was pretty noticeable. Like there was a guy swimming and his feet were like alternating between turning into feet and flippers every time he moved them. It was really weird. It's not being developed by the main guys that made Ark. It's being developed by a separate team, which they were very, very clear. Ark Survival Ascended posted on Twitter. Ark Aquatica is the AI one. Ark Aquatica is being developed by Snail Games Colorado. Please follow them for more updates. Studio Wildcard remains entirely dedicated to the production of Ark Survival Ascended and Ark 2. And we're excited to bring blah, blah, blah. So they're like, that ain't us.
We didn't do it. Yeah.
And so the lead game designer for the game that was the subject of this trailer, this is what he had to say. That trailer was done by our marketing department. They took our assets and then they ran them through an AI to animate them. That was marketing development team. That was marketing. Development team did not do that. There has been no AI use in the development of Aquatica. That is fucking hilarious. So this guy, it's not only like it's embarrassing that the marketing team just did this up on their own and they had no control over it, which is weird. I guess why would the development team have control over it anyway? But they probably just trusted marketing wouldn't do things that would be bad or detrimental for the game in their marketing trailer. But I absolutely love that he has been deliberate, because a lot of game studios are using AI right now.
Yeah.
Not really shamelessly, but they're using it.
They're
The
using it
fact
for
that
certain
this guy is
things
like,
and-
we don't use AI for shit, and the marketing department comes in and fucks him on this, hilarious.
Dude.
Dude,
Honestly, in the
sucks.
marketing department needs to pay
Apologize.
more for a better AI tool, because this one was
Yeah.
not great.
This one, and they just put it out there, like they just didn't care. Like the Flipper Feet guy, they're like, no one will notice. Hey, do you want to make a trailer for the internet? Yeah, what's the goal? Tons of people seeing it. Oh, okay, cool. Then let's put things in it that no one will notice, just like a coffee cup in Game of Thrones. Look, you idiots, your job is to get a ton of eyes on the thing. Don't make the thing bad because you're getting tons of eyes on
They're
it.
gonna see it. This is the
fucking idiots.
internet. They will notice, and they will call you out, and they will hate you for it.
It's not like you were putting out a trailer just to like fulfill a contract deal. Like this was to get a bunch of eyes on the game, and all your eyes were like, oh, so it's made with AI and it sucks. Imagine being the developers on this one. I'd be so fucking pissed.
Oh, I'd be so mad. I'd be like,
Oh
"Dude,
my
this is
God.
not my work," and like, I'd be
fucking
like,
like
okay,
this.
we need to start leaking some actual gameplay types of stuff so people can see it, because if they think this is the game,
Yeah.
no one's gonna play it. Like, we gotta
Terrible.
start leaking now.
Guys, time to start leaking. Call it Best Buy Canada. Age of Empires 2 just dropped an 8,000 word patch note. There's nothing much really. It was just, I mean, that I'm going to expand on this. There was a ton to the patch notes. Take you a week to read it. There were bug fixes, new tech trees, new maps, balance changes, new visuals. I mean, it's just insane to me.
Are they
that a game
paying
came out
by the word?
in
like,
the
what?
90s? Well, no, there's just a ton of shit they've done.
No,
The
but
game
like,
that came out like
so
decades
much.
and decades ago, and they're still adding new civilizations, new updates, everything. It's the coolest shit ever. Age of Empires 2 for life. Okay, spin it. Well, I guess don't
Dude,
spin
it's
it.
time for JD's sales report.
I didn't put some music yet. Okay, just stop.
That's
Stop.
Listening to an old episode like 5 years ago, and we were still doing this bit, and you refused to make a bumper. So I'm so much closer than I've ever been. I'm so happy right now. Assassin's Creed Shadows is the series' second biggest launch ever. I know basically sales reports all about Assassin's Creed Shadows. However, I do think it's very important because the entire life of Ubisoft as a company, one of the biggest game companies in the world, hinges entirely on this fucking game. You guys, this is like a bellwether for AAA game studios in America. And
Yeah.
yes. And
Well, pretty soon, these guys are going to start programming in Arabic because the Saudis are going to be buying them. But
yeah,
it's
dude.
fine. It's fine.
This was further data that was Video Games Chronicle. They delivered the second highest day one sales revenue in franchise history behind Valhalla. And Valhalla was never, they're never going to hit that again because that was during the pandemic. And it was
Right.
like this perfect storm which sucks.
It
that
wasn't
they
even their
delivered such
best
a shitty
game.
game. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
one
like,
of the
this is
worst
like-
ones, and they had a ton of sales, which probably soured a lot of people in the series. So that is like a monkey paw kind of thing. I want to sell a ton of games. Well, your game sucks. But it was Ubisoft's best ever day one launch on the PlayStation Digital Store. It was the most wish-listed Ubisoft title of all time, and it generated over 11 million hours watched on Twitch. So overall,
Those are good numbers.
Those are great numbers.
Like, that's
dude.
what you want if you just released a game. You want to see these numbers.
Yeah. So I'm sure Tencent is super stoked about their investment in the 3 game titles that they care about. This is one of them, and
Yep.
it's back. Can they hold this though? Every time I feel like they make a good Assassin's Creed game, instead of making another one that they're like, let's fuck with that formula so the next one's different, and it doesn't really pan out. And they're like, oh, let's go unfuck that. Let's try to fuck a different direction. I wish they could just dial it in like Far Cry. Far Cry just dials it in. It's the same shitty game every fucking time. I know what I'm getting.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Just make the same shitty fucking
Give me
game
that every like 3 years. Like, I'll play it. And
it's not that hard, you idiots.
That's all, that's what I want to do.
Kudos. Kudos. Kudos.
Kudos, positivity segment. Positivity.
Oh yeah, we got some good ones this time.
Yeah, we do. Because Peterson and I went on a luxurious vacation weekend.
We went on a road
retreat
trip. Oh, it was great.
to sunny, balmy Idaho.
Boise, Idaho.
Boise, fucking Idaho.
Here's what I will say, because I had a couple coworkers making fun of me because like, you're going to Boise.
Yeah.
Boise was hopping.
Boise
while we
slaps,
were there.
dude. Boise's
Because
dope.
they had a music festival going. There were people everywhere downtown. Like
Buzzing.
it was like in a live city. Like there were people everywhere. There was music going everywhere. I was like, if Boise was like this all the time, like this
Boise
city would
be
be
fucking
dope.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, go to Boise during Tree Fort, the music festival, because it is a hopping spot.
Seriously. You just walk around downtown. There's just like people everywhere. It's great.
Yeah, so we were actually at the How Did This Get Made? If you've ever heard that podcast. I didn't realize they were as old as they were. Apparently they're like 15. They've been doing this podcast forever.
Yep.
So they do bad movies and then they talk about bad movies. And Peterson was kind enough to get us tickets to this show. It was the closest that
they've
ever
ever
been to Salt Lake,
Yeah.
Boise.
So I was like,
And we
I gotta
got 'em.
go.
We got them.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the kudos. Like the How Did This Get Made live show was a blast. I didn't know what to expect because I've listened to all their live shows. Their live shows are my favorite episodes, but I didn't know what to expect. And honestly, they did an amazing job. Paul Scheer just crushed it in terms of like keeping the audience engaged, keeping the show moving, keeping things alive and fresh. It was awesome. It was really great. I had a great time at the podcast. One of the things another thing. So I'll just give my two kudos out of the way. So one was for the podcast because that was great. Second one is we went to a place called Boise Fry Company.
Yeah.
Katie told me about this. He heard about it from somebody,
Coworker.
a coworker, and we were like, yeah, let's go check it out because we looked at their menu online. Did not disappoint. We posted about it. JD posted about it in the Discord, but it's like it was a burger and fry place. Fries are really like their staple because they have
like 6 different kinds of fries, and you can get them in like a bunch of them in different ways. So you can get purple and like curly or straight or whatever you want.
He's saying like purple potatoes and red potatoes and yellow potatoes, russet, and then
Yukon Gold, like all this.
Yep. Yeah, and then they have 10 sauces you can dip it in, and they were like unique sauces. It wasn't like
blueberry ketchup, sweet mustard,
and the sweet mustard. That was one that I was probably not even going to try it, and I just got it on a whim and freaking loved it. Like my favorite one.
Sweet mustard was the best one out of nowhere.
So
Did not
good.
see that coming.
Like, and I like mustard, but I usually like it for like sausage and stuff like that. But this sweet mustard sauce was incredible. It reminded me of a Carolina barbecue sauce type of mustard. Like it was vinegary, very good. All the sauces were fantastic. It was great to have like that variety to kind of dip it in, spicy ketchup and stuff. And then they had like, I don't even like 20 different salts. You like flavored salt, seasoned salts you could sprinkle on your fries. Those were fun, but it was all about for me, it was all about the sauces. I love sauce. And I had a great time eating there. It was good. The food was good. The burger, here's what I'll say. The burger was good. I have zero complaints about the burger, but we're going to go to JD's kudos now because we did eat a better burger.
Probably the best burger I've had in a year, and it's the same time every time. Guys, if you ever drive up to Idaho taking I-15, and you pass through Snowville, Utah, I insist you stop.
You won't
there.
know you're in Snowville, Utah. You're gonna have to put this
sign
on Google Maps. Like,
it's just a sign. You may, because on the distance and the average gas mileage on a normal car, you may just pull over at Snowville. It's a great stop to get gas if you're driving to Idaho and you don't want to get too far below a half tank. So you may pull in there by accident, which is exactly what we did.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna pull in and get some snacks because it was like a good point in the trip to like stop and get a drink.
But I know
He
Snowville.
knew.
I know
JD was
this
like,
gas
"I know where we
station,
are."
and this gas station features an A&W burger restaurant inside of it that somehow, for one reason or another, has the best fucking cheeseburger in 100,000 miles.
This is okay. JD has said this before. He said this years ago, and I was like, "Oh, cool." So I was down.
Do you remember when I mentioned this?
Yes, and because I went down, I was down in Salt Lake the following week at the Boeing site in Salt Lake, and there's an A&W right there. And so I was like, I'm gonna go to A&W because JD said it was so good, and I got the Papa Burger, and I was like, this is so mediocre.
Yeah.
What's he talking about? It's not all A&Ws.
In fact, I would argue it's no A&Ws other than because I've eaten it in the same vein. I've eaten it like half a dozen other ones to try to capture this magic. It's not A&W. It has nothing to do with it.
It's these two ladies back there at the Snow City. What's it called? Snowville, Utah, A&W. That's in a gas station. Like one of the ladies, the cashiers, was also the gas
She
station.
will ring you up for
cashier.
gas. She will clean
Yeah.
the bathroom in the gas station, and then she'll make your burger.
Yeah, like that's how it's not like its own separate thing.
No, it's just like open.
It's just part of
And
it.
I am telling you guys, I don't know what it is. The veggies are insanely fresh. The
Yeah.
burger is incredibly seasoned. And
Why
just
was
perfect.
it so good? I don't know why it was so good, and it genuinely
Just
was
a
like
single cheeseburger. That was
I was
all.
not expecting it to be amazing. I was
Yeah.
expecting like a cheap fast food burger.
Yeah.
And like it was a fluke that when JD had it, I took a bite and I was like, why is this so good?
It's like the
I don't
fourth or
get it.
fifth time I've been there. And
I don't get it.
every single fucking time it is like this. I'm so glad that you were able to verify this for me.
Crazy.
If anyone else regularly hoofs it up to Idaho, please verify that the Snowville A&W slaps as hard as I think. And dude, on Google Maps, it's got like a 3.5.
Yeah, like
It's like it was the most unexpected place. You would never.
My mind
think.
is genuinely blown. Like I
Mhm.
said it 5 or 6 times. I was like,
We
why
went-
was that so good?
Talked about it for like an hour as we were driving
don't
away.
get
we
it.
couldn't get over it. And the funny thing is, then you go to Boise Fry Company, a very successful restaurant. They have like 10 locations in Boise. They have a very well thought out cheeseburger, like very thoughtful decisions on.
It was like
instead
a
of pickles,
fancier
there's
version
like
of a
pickled
burger.
cucumbers, very fancy, and it is amazing. And every flavor works well together. And I don't give a fuck because the A&W burger knocked that thing out of the park.
We even said that while we were eating there. I was like, JD, this is a good burger.
Because we
That
had both of them
A&W
within like 6
burger
hours of each other.
Was better.
Yeah.
Was better.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I don't
I
get
don't
it.
know. I don't know.
I have one other quick kudos. It's kind of a
Do it.
story just because I want to tell it. This is for one of the AutoZone in Boise.
Mm.
I've told like 5 people this story. I can't get enough. So
Oh,
I needed
no,
a new
I can't believe
windshield.
you're fucking telling people
Nope,
about this.
I'm telling you, it's so
I never
funny.
want to hear
Nope,
anyone.
I want
this story.
I want JD to be embarrassed, and I'm
God
embarrassed.
damn.
It's so funny. So I needed new windshield wipers. It started raining. I like flipped on my wipers, and it was like leaving a streak across the middle. I was like, I think we'll be all right. We went like 1 mile, and I was like, I can't do this. So we're gonna stop and get some windshield wipers. So we stopped, get some nice wipers, put them on. JD says, "Holy crap, this thing got like a fancy like yellow blade. Like this is cool." Flip them on. Streak right across the middle, and we're like, what is going on? And like we sat there and looked at him. So I go get the guy. He's coming out. He's like, yeah, there's a lot of factors involved, and walks out and immediately says, yeah, but you do want to take off this windshield wiper cover.
Want to take off the blade protector.
And the
That's
blade
the
protector
yellow
says on it,
thing.
it says remove
All over it
before
Take me off.
installation.
I will
And
just
we
smear
were
water.
both there. We were like, so that's why we can't go back to Boise anymore.
We're
But
actually
this-
forbidden from returning there.
he did not make fun of us or laugh at us to our
He was
faces.
so nice. He's like, "Oh, you'd be surprised. I have all sorts of people, and I have
I
texts
was
to
like-
do this." I was like, "Brother, it doesn't matter what you say to me now. I'm gonna wake up randomly at like 3 a.m, 5 years from now
I can't-
thinking about how fucking
Like,
mortifying this
it's like
is.
so stupid.
Oh,
The fact that
why
we
would you want
both-
yellow wiper blades?
the
And then when
fact
they
that we were
wipe-
both there was like
so stupid.
so stupid.
There's one to crawl underneath the car and die like a raccoon.
I had to tell that story though because it's so funny how stupid it is. So yes, so yeah, kudos to that AutoZone guy.
Yeah, that guy was tight. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
JD asks.
JD asks. JD asks.
JD ass?
JD's ass. I don't know, guys. We're going with JD ass. JD's ass.
JD.
All right, JD's ask is where I ask something. This week I'm asking you, what is something that gamers thought they wanted but didn't really want? Just like they said that Blizzard, when they released World of Warcraft Classic, before they released it for years and years, people were asking, just release Warcraft Classic. Come on, give us World of Warcraft like it was back in the day in 2004 or 5.
We
Like-
want to go back.
And what did they say? They said, you think you want it, but you don't. And you know what? That's kind of the case. Because I was thinking about when Jenna and I, we were just laying, vegging around on Sunday, and she put on Ahsoka, the Star Wars series. We watched one episode. We kind of shrugged, like, that was kind of fun. And then we just moved on to something else. Didn't bother finishing it. Didn't really care to.
I kind of like
Considering I was supposed to care about a lot of characters because of a cartoon show that came out like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And if I didn't watch that show, I was like, I don't give a fuck why that
Yeah,
person
no,
just
you
died.
didn't.
What a terrible hook. Is that somebody who I never met up to that point in the episode died? I was like, so?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
You really have to be involved with the cartoon.
Yeah.
To,
And
to, like,
so-
really let this sink in.
Right. And so what I was thinking is, for me, something that I remember thinking when the prequel trilogy came out, because after the prequel trilogy came out, like, let's be honest, 2007, we were like, I don't think we're ever going to get another Star Wars movie again, because they definitely didn't flop, but I don't know if the reception was really what they were looking for. And it didn't feel like they were going to move on into George Lucas certainly wasn't talking about moving on to 7, 8, and 9. And so we were all like, oh, and there was 20 years between the prequels or the original series and the prequels. So I think most of us coming up in that era were pretty conditioned to being like, dude, this might be all the Star Wars we get. Just 6 movies, and that's it. And so I was definitely in the party of like, dude, wouldn't it be cool if we just if they just did 7, 8, and 9, and then they did like a ton of other Star Wars movies and TV shows and like all this stuff, because they were doing Clone Wars.
You were
And
like,
we
put out
saw-
more content. Like, we
Put out more
put out more
content.
content.
And now Disney buys like the fucking monkey paw curls. Disney buys Star Wars and makes the 3 worst movies I've ever seen in my fucking life. The last 2 I only saw because they were free. And then they are just pumping out TV shows and mini series and
Here's
all
the
this
thing.
shit.
They got us on the hook though with Mandalorian season 1. They hooked us.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, we can get on board with this.
Uh-huh.
And then they
Just turd
they
after
really were
turd
like,
after turd. And that's what I kept thinking when we were watching that show, is like, this is something I thought I wanted, but I don't. I want you to like do one Star Wars thing every 10 years, and it's like the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen.
And don't do this stupid like the 7, 8, 9 situation where
And I'm
like
tired of the Skywalkers. I'm
I
tired
don't
of
care about
everything
that.
being connected to the fucking Skywalker family. It's like one dirty orphan and his like mystery deadbeat dad kids.
wow, really rude to orphans right there. Why did you have to call
I don't think I
orphans
was being rude. I was being accurate. He lived in a desert.
Wow.
He was a
Wow.
slave.
I
and an orphan.
apologize to all the orphans listening to this podcast.
I didn't say all orphans are dirty.
That's the feeling you gave when you said it. like a little orphan Annie situation where
Little
they're
orphan
all
Annie can.
oh man. Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank
Are you serious right now?
I guess.
Little orphan Anakin? Dude, well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
You
All
just
right,
like
so
did that and moved on. And I was like, no, that was brilliant.
gotta play it cool sometimes. I'm not really good at it. Sometimes they pull it off. So, what is something that gamers thought they wanted but didn't really want?
I have two. I don't know how many
Okay.
you have.
I have three.
I thought of a few others and I was like,
Yeah, they're not
I
that
don't know."
great.
Okay. I'll start with one. Realistic graphics. When I was a kid, the graphics would get slightly better, and we were like, this is crazy. And I had this conversation as a young child
Oh,
100 times.
All you talk about
I
is
would be like,
graphics.
can you imagine one day it's going to be like playing a movie and it will be the best thing that's ever happened
It'll
to
look
us?
super realistic.
We went up, graphics started getting crazy. Do you remember when like Crisis came out?
Mhm.
They released those Crisis games just as like a look at what we can do with this new graphics card that's come out. Like that's what Crisis was. And like we were like, this is crazy. Games
Yeah.
are going to the next level. And then here's what it did. First off, we got the Uncanny Valley situation where you would get like they just can't capture facial features and like the subtle movements of faces very well. That
No.
is hard to do. And then the graphics started really like chewing up graphics cards. So you need like a high powered GPU. You need high powered fans to run this, and like this thing is going to cook your machine. But also, it makes our game development time double. We try to do crazy graphics. We had 8 years game time for game development time. We thought we wanted good graphics, and we have started to see a pivot away from that now.
Mhm.
We have seen what I have seen, and what I would argue
Bring
is
back
like
the pixels.
what I would argue is the pinnacle of like good graphics is like maybe like a Skyrim era type of graphic where it's decent,
Mhm.
doesn't look realistic. It's not like lifelike.
Yeah, Jen and I were playing Resident Evil 5 recently, and that kind of hits. It's like 2009 or something, but it's like, yeah, it's realistic enough.
Yeah, yep. We've moved away from like trying to be hyper realistic. Like, look at these. The game Atomfall just came out, and I
Mhm.
was looking at it, and I was like, this looks like a game from 8 to 10 years ago, and that's really like this. I think that's the sweet spot. We
Yeah.
don't need them to look like real life. We just need them to look good enough so you can understand what's happening by looking at it. And then pixel games have made a crazy comeback.
Oh,
Like
they're so huge.
some of the best games are pixel games or a super cartoony graphic because they're starting to realize like we don't need it to look like real life. We don't need that. I don't even know if people want that anymore. And so we thought we wanted amazing graphics.
Realistic graphics.
We thought we wanted that. We don't want that. Mm-mm.
I can't think of a game that it enhances, like a game style that it enhances. If you want to play a first-person shooter, you want to play a shooter, all that does is make you kind of feel like the more realistic. Why don't we imagine AI gets to the point where you shoot someone and instead of just falling down or disappearing, they just lay there and writhe in agony for a little bit while they bleed out, clutching at their wound. Like, guys, we don't want that. You don't want that.
There's one case where the realistic graphics works, and that is car racing games.
Oh,
because they don't have that. You can make it look like you see some of these games, you're like, that looks dope because it's not a person. And then you can't even see the people most of the time. There's no people involved. Like you don't see a person, it's just a car. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I am not okay with you trying to make a people. So yeah, I thought I wanted it. I don't.
Right on the same vein as what I kind of introduced was one thing that I had mentioned in this podcast way early on, wanting because way back when EA held the exclusive license for Star Wars games and only EA could make Star Wars games for like a period of 10 years. And I think a common frame with me and a lot of other gamers that liked Star Wars were like, man, wouldn't it be cool if like anyone could make Star Wars games? And they just like shopped the licenses out. And
we've said that on the podcast.
The first fucking time this happens, the first time a major game studio outside of EA makes a single player Star Wars game we're so hyped on, we get Star Wars Outlaws,
So bad.
and it's just like a wet fart. It's just like, it's like a game. It's okay. I not to say like I want EA to have the title back or to have the exclusives back, but it just feels like I don't know what I want with Star Wars games. Maybe we just don't make Star Wars games for a little bit. Maybe that's okay.
I want the
Just take a
people who
break.
made Hogwarts Legacy to make a Star Wars game and put that much love into it. That's what it's going to take, honestly.
Yeah.
And they need to understand they I don't even like talking about it anymore because I really wish I could have gotten Far Cry Star Wars. That's it. I've said it 1,000 times. That's what I wanted.
Mhm.
And that's what I didn't get, and I hate them for it. I hate them for it.
Yep.
Let's see. Another one. Oh, same thing. When I was a kid, VR. We thought we wanted VR. Okay. When I was a kid, I went to this. It was some. Okay, I grew up in Vegas, and in Vegas at the hotels, they had all these like experiences you could do. And do you remember Magic Motion Machines? It like felt like you were on a roller coaster, but it wasn't actually a movie. And I don't know what they call them now, but it was like just sit there and the screen would play, and you'd think you were moving, and the thing would move around, but you weren't going anywhere. We went to one of those, and along the way on the line, they had a big old VR thing that you could pay like $20 and do the whole experience. And it was like, you strap on the headset and you'd hold a gun, and there was the ring around you, and like the floor could kind of like was slidey so you could walk and it would hold you in place.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the future. Like,
I
are you
want this
kidding
in
me?
real life forever.
This is what all video games are going to be like when I'm an adult, and it's going to be incredible. And we have VR. And here's the thing. I don't hate VR, but do I ever play VR? No. I have 2 VR headsets at my house. I played them a couple times, and I was like, that's cool and that's fun. Like, it is cool. It is cool to like play a game and like look around. It's a lot of fun. But I thought I thought that's what we want. I thought the future of gaming is going to be these haptic suits like in Ready Player One. And now I'm realizing I'm probably too lazy for any of that. Like, I want to sit down at my computer and just play a game. Like, I don't need to be in the game.
I mean, we were all kids when we were like fantasizing about this. And as kids, honestly, to this day, I feel a lot of times when I play games with Jeff, he stands while he plays his controller. Because like, I don't know, like, yeah, dude, we used to play games just standing in front of the TV. And so VR fit that modal.
Yeah.
But not so much now. I just want to sit on a couch.
And like, I don't know. Like, VR is cool. Don't get me wrong. VR is really cool. I like some of the tech they're doing with it. But even during the life of this podcast, I was like, dude, I can't wait for them to see what they're doing in VR. I'm so pumped. And I'm not. I thought I wanted VR. I don't think we do. I don't think we really want it. It's not making a ton of money. It's not killing it. The marketplaces aren't doing well. The headsets themselves don't do that great. It's something that we all thought we wanted, and I don't think we do.
No. Another one for me is Microsoft buying numerous game studios to beef up Game Pass. There was a time when we were singing Game Pass praises on this podcast nearly
I still like
week.
Game Pass. I still have it, but Microsoft flubbed over and over and over.
Yeah, we were like, just have a super mega corp that just nurtures all these game studios, provides them a safe place where they can secure funding and publish their games.
That's it.
That's
what we thought. We thought that they would just come in, give them that Microsoft cash to make their great games, and then we would get it on Game Pass. And instead, they bought the studios and then shut them down within a year. Like 20 times.
They basically just super consolidated to make a mega layoff. Like, that's what Microsoft did to the game industry.
Their strategy was to eliminate the competition by like buying them and then shutting
firing
them down.
All of their workers. Nailed it, Microsoft.
Weird strategy. I don't know if I love that. It
Yeah,
reminds me of when I was like maybe in my early 20s, I had an idea for a story about a guy who wants to be the number one villain in the world. And to do that, he, instead of trying to be really bad, he just takes out all the other villains. and inadvertently becomes like the number one good guy because he just keeps taking out villains, but he's trying to get top of the villain food chain. That's what Microsoft did. They're just like, instead of being great, what if we were the best because we just bought and eliminated everybody? So
it's very nice. Do you have any more?
no, I don't have. I had one other that I was like, kind of, but do yours.
I just have one last one, which is constant game updates. That I think when I was like in the 90s and playing new games, sometimes there would be like you'd just be like, I played this game so many times. The idea of a new level for this racing game or a new storyline for this shooter that I play would just be so awesome. You remember like GoldenEye that was so sick, and then the next game they came out with was Perfect Dark, which is kind of like a GoldenEye sequel or something. It kind of felt almost like an expansion of GoldenEye. Like those types of things that you'd be like, oh, it would be so cool if we just got these as updates. The game like it was changing, and now we have that. Every single game is that. We have live service games to just games that are like Cyberpunk, not completed when you buy them, and the updates are less so a fun bonus to a fully completed game and more so a patch to a half-baked game that you spent full price on.
It's the monkey paw, right? Like we got what we wanted, and honestly, it's been a great thing in some cases. Like games being able to update and give you more content.
You could get new fighters in a fighting game in Street Fighter or whatever.
Yeah, like that. I think things like that. That's like the good use case for it. But what that also did is, just like you said, open the door for them to release an incomplete game and do like a gigantic 50 gig day one patch. And like, so it allowed them to release an incomplete product and just say, we'll finish it later. Like we'll fix this later. And that's become the business model instead of being online. So we could just get more cool content and they could add stuff to the game. They used it as a early bump up the release window and release an incomplete game. They of course they just like they always do. They twist everything good to make it bad. Like when loot boxes first came out and they were free for playing, that was amazing. Like I loved them. I love that so much. I love random elements to games. I love chance to games, and then they immediately ruined it. And so that's what they do. So unfortunate, but that's where we're at. So.
All right, well, if you don't have any more, let's move on to dice.
Okay.
Dice of Destiny.
Alrighty, Rue. Dice of Destiny is this game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres assigned to it. Then we find a game in that genre, and we pick it, play it, and review it. Peterson rolled a gory game. Couple weeks back.
I picked a game called Dying Light.
Light.
It's a zombie survival type of game. I'll tell you this, it is not what I thought it was, but I was pleasantly surprised. I've admittedly, I have only played a little bit of this game, and I'm going to continue to play it because I'm actually really enjoying it. That's like a little preview, but so I just haven't been on my computer that much in the last week. I've been busy watching Reacher, so to get off my back. And okay, so Dying Light is a first-person zombie survival game, but it is like also a parkour game. There is lots of jumping from rooftop to rooftop and grabbing onto ledges and grabbing onto things and shimmying up poles. And because
Shimmy on the game.
It's a shimmy like because there are on the ground, that's where all the zombies live, and there's lots of them. There are games that I played zombie games like 7 Days to Die, which I thought that's what this is going to be like. I thought it'd be like a 7 Days to Die. It's not. 7 Days to Die was like you just start in the middle of a field with in your underwear or like whatever, just like nothing, no gear. and you have to go get stuff, go get some sticks and wood to craft, like very standard crafting survival game. This game, Dying Light has, and this is Dying Light 1, by the way, not Dying Light 2.
Yeah.
It has crafting in it,
Ugh.
but you're crafting like weapons and gear and like like health packs and things like that. And there is an element of looting because you loot everything like Skyrim style. You're like checking every corner, but they make it very easy. You can hit Q and it will like does a scan and shows you everything you can loot. So they kind of make it easy because they want it to be a fast-paced game. You're running fast. You're climbing on stuff. You are not hanging out in buildings and like spending a lot of time. You are move. The zombies during the day are very slow, shambling, just kind of dummies, and you can take them out easily. There is and you're using a melee weapon at the start. There are guns. I have not gotten a gun yet. I'm interested to see how that works. Like, because when you do make noise, like if you jump off of a high roof and take a little fall damage, that draws their attention. Then they just turn and start shambling towards you. But you have a stamina bar. If you fight too much in a row, so you can't just like swing, hack away.
Yeah.
You have to like swing, and then after like 7 or 8 swings, you lose you're out of stamina. Your guy's like breathing heavy, and then you just kind of go back off and let it recharge, and it recharges pretty fast. And again, the zombies are slow, so it's like in Valheim where you run out of stamina and you're like, this wolf is gonna kill me because it's faster than me. The zombies are slow.
Yeah.
And the combat's fun, to be honest, because you can kick them.
It?
Yes, you can kick them. And I will say, for like a game this old, the combat is smooth. Like, all of it is very smooth. They did a great job with the controls. It doesn't feel clunky even a tiny bit. The jumping, the moving around feels very seamless, and like it's really nice to just be able to kind of move around, have high mobility, hit hard. You can craft weapons with blades on them where you're just chopping up zombies. It reminds me a lot like The Division, because I jumped in thinking this was just going to be a multiplayer game where we're going in like crafting and stuff like that, like 7 Days to Die. It's not. There's a campaign, and that's what you do co-op. And we couldn't do co-op until we beat like the prologue, which took an hour. Like there was like a whole mission, and you're like infiltrating. You are like a guy who works for a bigger organization, and you're infiltrating some like underground types of organizations trying to find a certain guy.
Okay.
And you infiltrate this group, and they're like the good guys, and you find out they're not the one you're looking for. It's the bad guys are the ones you're looking for. And so it plays a lot like The Division because there's zombies around, but there's also humans, and the bad guy humans. And I haven't had to really fight them yet. That will be interesting when you do. But as you go through and do stuff, as you attack more, it's one of those games where you have a skill tree, and it will upgrade based on what you're using, like how much you're using a certain skill, then it will upgrade. And so you're getting more abilities, and you're getting like the ability to dodge and the ability to slide and things like that. And then it even has like time trials, like Far Cry, because it's like a Far Cry or Division. It reminds me of the Division in terms of tone, but it plays a little bit like a Far Cry.
It does kind of have a Far Cry feel to it.
Yeah, and
Is the world similarly open like Far
Cry? Yes, it's very, very open, extremely open. And again, it's pretty cool because you run on the rooftops, so you can like go everywhere. You can climb on crap, like you just go everywhere. But when you're on the ground, as you're seeing in this gameplay, if you're watching, there are zombies everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like, it's not like there's a few zombies. They keep coming. They're not like endless spawn, but there's just a lot of them. And they'll shamble towards you. And by the time you've killed 5 or 6, a couple more have showed up. You kill them, one more shows up. So like there's a lot of zombies. They're easy to get away from. You just like this, you jump on top of a car and just like stand on the roof of the car. There are safe zones, and this is why it reminds me of like Far Cry or Division. It's like a safe zone that you have to clear and turn on, and then it's a safe zone on the map where if you go there's no zombies, and there's like a bed.
That would be so much fun for me. I think I'd like that a lot.
It is a lot of fun. there is a day-night cycle. At night, the zombies are bananas. In the daytime, there's these like slow shambling things. At night, they freak the F out and they run and scream and jump, and you are just like sprinting away. You are just like this is when your parkour skills really come into play because you are jumping on roofs, like just sprinting to get out of their line of
Dang.
sight. The map shows you their like line of vision, and
Mhm.
they will chase you at breakneck speed. Like they're faster than you are, but you can climb stuff, and they're not really climbing. They can jump, but they can't get really up high like you can. Honestly, I like this game a lot, and it does have like a Far Cry-ish feel in terms of what you're doing because you're like infiltrating this group, and then there's a bad guy group. Of course, they're like way more powerful. They got all the medicine and all the guns and everything like that. So you're like this underground guerrilla group just trying to like stay alive and take these guys out, steal their stuff. I like it a lot. Like we've only played it a little bit and we barely got into the multiplayer stuff. And there are
Mhm.
some like little nits there. Like to do a story in multiplayer, you all have to like go stand right in the same spot. But like you go back to HQ and there's a store and there's all this, you sell stuff you bought. So it's like there's a lot to do. It's very fun. I am honestly enjoying this game 10 times more than I thought I would. I got in, and when I realized it was just when I realized it was like a campaign type of game, like you're doing a story, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
ah, man. And then I got into it and I was like, no, I like this a lot. I like this a lot. Tons of looting, tons of like missions to do. You get a bunch of side missions, like a Far Cry, you get a bunch of side missions you can do.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a good game. And like I said, it plays really well. It plays really well.
Now, remind me, did you pick this up on Game Pass? Did you get
So
it
I
on?
got this in the Steam store, and honestly, it popped up, and I'd looked at it before a few times because it had, and we'd even brought it up, like, guys, we should play this because it has like all the tags we like, co-op, multiplayer, survival, all that sort of stuff. We're like, we should try this one. I think he gives more like 7 Days to Die. I got it for $8 on the Steam sale. It's normally like 25 or 30 or something like that. I got it for $8. So like just timing was perfect. Honestly, I am pretty floored by how great this game is and how much I'm enjoying it. Which is funny because I'm playing like a bunch of games right now. And I was like, dang,
Just
I just
one
want to play
more
this
on
one now.
Throw one more on the pile.
I just want to play this one right now. And I think we can blow through the story pretty quick, but man, I want to. I genuinely want to. So,
Good.
Dying
Hell yeah.
Light
Dying
1,
Light it's a buy.
if you haven't played it, play it. It's you get it on sale. Honestly, don't buy it for like you could buy it for $30 and probably get a value out of it.
Mhm.
But it's hard to say get it at $30 because I got it for $8 during the Steam spring sale or whatever.
Fuck yeah.
So
dude.
wait for the summer sale and just pick this up for cheap. It's so good. It's so
Yeah.
good. So yeah, Dying Light, surprising how much I loved this game.
Oh, hell yeah, that's the best. Because I don't think any of us expected you going into a gory game or whatever it was, excessive blood and gore, to come out with a game that you not only liked but really enjoyed.
Like I'm gonna keep playing it. Like I'm probably gonna play it tonight when we hop off. Like that's how much I'm enjoying
Dude,
it.
that is a good dice game. All right, so that means we got to re-roll. Hopefully Peterson gets a break. He's on 3 in a row. You want odds or evens?
Even.
I'm rolling your favorite kind of dice.
Ooh, wait, is that a force? Wait, what is that? No.
8-sided dice, baby.
Oh, 8 is fine. 4
Did you
is
say
horrible.
even?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was a 4.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, dude,
Let's
buckle
do
up.
this.
Do you have a 20 or do you want me to roll it?
I keep forgetting to grab it.
That's okay. Alrighty. 5. 5 is what a mix up for you. Peaceful, relaxing.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so peaceful, relaxing is on the board.
Oh, boy.
Building, I'm sorry, is off the board. Building is on the board, and next up on deck is sex. Sex will be back on the board before we know it. So excited.
And then how much can I spend on this? Do you want me to roll that one? I have the dice for that.
Yeah, you roll that one.
A 3. Okay, 30. not too bad. That's good. I've been getting high numbers, so it hasn't even been a challenge because I can just like if I find a game, I can play it because
Mhm.
I'm getting like 5s and 6s. So little challenge to get $30 a game. Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, next week Peterson will have a peaceful, relaxing game for us. Maybe it'll be another Stardew Valley.
Mm.
All right. To play us out, we've got something.
Some of the music from Dying Light.
Some music from Dying Light.
Music pretty good. Music pretty good on it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for dropping by, Abby. Thanks for dropping by and making a "That's What She Said" joke.
Yep, always good. Always welcome.
Appreciate that. Yeah. All right. I'm JD logging off.
And this is Peterson going AFK.